What's up, Attack on Titan fans? It's Chris here, and I'm with my friends Reese
Yo,
and Raf.
What's up, guys?
And we're here to review this week's chapter, chapter 4 before the fall. Honestly, me personally, I haven't really got much to say about this chapter. Yeah. No, but it's not. It wasn't a bad chapter. It's just that it just wasn't particularly interesting. What do you guys think of it?
I'm kind of in the same boat as you, man. It's like what happened was decent,
Mm,
but at the same time, it just felt really long-winded.
hmm
It's like, come on, the majority, like what, the first 20 pages was of him, what, running through the mansion?
You know what? I've got the perfect reason why why this series in general isn't as appealing as the main one. And that's just the sole purpose of this series exists to kind of elaborate on the story behind the construction of the wall, the tines, basically everything before the prior story that we know, right? And we haven't really seen anything interesting or anything kind of showing what's gonna, I don't know, like showing what's gonna happen in the future or what we actually want. The reason we're reading this particular series, we haven't seen anything what we want to see. I think that's the problem. If that makes any sense, like so far, the only thing we've seen is that this Titan ate some woman, she gave birth, and then yeah, this kid's like a child Titan. But then, other than that, all we've seen him is in prison and yeah, getting beat on by some prissy prince, some guy. I don't know who the guy was, but that's all. There's nothing that's interesting about this series so far, and that's why I'm not that, I guess, not into it right now.
You got a
I'm
point there, man.
just reading it for the sake of reading it right now. There's nothing that's kind of like, oh, can't wait for this chapter to come out. Let me read. I'm just reading it because I'm hoping that something's going to show up that I actually want to see. And that's it. I think a lot of people might be in that same mind frame at the moment. I'm not too sure, but
It's true
yeah.
because obviously, the fact that it's called Attack on Titan, you're kind of obviously putting it at the same level as a normal series,
The only time you've seen is that one that broke in for the first time, and that's it.
the weird mud-looking one.
Yeah, Melting Titan. But yeah, what do you think, Raf?
Um, I'm kind of the same as you lot, but um, I'd say I'm a bit more interested in a way.
Okay.
Um, I, I agree about the panel wasting. Like there was the whole, him running through the halls.
Yeah.
That was a good what 7 pages or something.
Yeah, he's pretty much going into Kubo's
Yeah,
territory right now. I don't know what he's
yeah.
thinking, but yeah.
But with the what do you call it? I think like says certain I'd say themes or points in this is like they've got a whole Titan worshipping group, which I found interesting because I'm assuming that they're like the origin of the wall worshippers that are in the current storyline.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
must be.
So it was interesting to see that because it kind of makes sense. Like so this is where it all started from. They like you see them obviously they were worshipping that ugly one that came in, and then obviously that was the spawn of Kyokuro.
Yeah.
And now they're all coming to find him and they're like Titan Summer, and then it's just I found that interesting, but it's like what exactly do they want with him?
You know what's funny? I always find it hilarious when there's like a cult or some kind of group that
Mm,
worship, whatever deity or being, but the being doesn't do anything positive towards them. Like it makes
yeah.
no fucking sense why you would do that. Like you're worshiping something that wants to eat you. Like I can understand if you just get a benefit from it, if he like, he showers you with candies or stuff like that, but he's eating you. What's the reason for worshiping? It makes no that I just think that's stupid
I
in
know, man. I
general. I
think it's a
think
whole thing of obviously Titans are more powerful than they are, so they must
no,
be a
no, no,
god.
no, no. I can understand like a select, say five people that I would call them crazies worshiping this thing, but like you have a whole mass of people that somehow believe these things are divine when they're dumb, bumbling, naked creatures that eat people. Like there's nothing godly about them apart from their size.
That's all it is then, man.
Mm.
You forget
Um,
cults are stupid.
yeah, just people are stupid in
It's
general. But
just general extremists that have gone mad. Obviously, like
yeah,
they're in this wall, and now they found like some source of religion, and now they worship the things that have been killing them for the past
that's
100
probably
years.
what that's probably it. People always look for something to believe in, no matter
Yeah,
how
that
stupid
was
it may
pretty.
be. Yeah,
I think they feel like, oh yeah, if we worship them and become part of them, it will be like, what is it? Is it divine emergence or some crap
something
like
like
that?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all. That is literally that in a nutshell. They're just crazy extremists found a religion and now they've pretty
Yeah,
much gone insane.
But on a
I've actually
non-religious note now, On a
Well,
Yeah.
non-cult note, go a bit, man. There was parts of the chapter which was pretty cool.
like
The whole little kind of battle bit between I
Shabby.
can't say his name,
Kyokuro.
Kurokuro, and yeah, that bit was pretty cool.
you mean the guy that you just need in the stomach and
Bro, he
headbutt?
kneed him in the chin and knocked him out.
Mm.
He got laid out. And that was pretty funny.
Are you saying the art was good or the fight was good? Because the
The
fight
fight.
was
Both.
pretty standard to me. I
I like
didn't see
both.
nothing that was too out of the
There,
ordinary.
there's one thing I'm kind of baffled about is well, not baffled. I was interested was, when he was running, like someone, I think it was one of them Titan worshippers. He tried to swipe at him, and it's like he took him out in one hit.
Yeah.
And then with Shabby, he did the same thing. It was literally one hit. So I'm thinking, is this his Titan strength or something?
You
Like,
know what? What I was throughout the whole chapter, what was going through my mind because there's a symbolism of the lightning striking throughout the entire
yeah,
chapter. For some reason, I keep thinking this guy's gonna transform. I don't know why. I'm
yeah,
like, is he gonna transform? Because the first time was when lightning struck in that little cell. I'm like, okay, the line must mean something in this
mm,
scene. Is he gonna turn into transform? Because whenever Eren transform, I don't know if it's in the manga, but in the
No, it's
anime, you
whenever
see like
anyone transforms, man. Same
this
thing.
burst, yeah, same thing, yeah, whatever. But this burst of like electricity or something, you see that happen. I'm thinking, does that mean he's gonna transform? And then, especially when the guy cut his eye, I'm like, oh, he has to transform now because
yeah.
that's an injury. But nothing happens. So I'm guessing he's just a normal human until until something's proven. But right now, I
Of
guess
course
he's
he
just
is, man.
human.
It's always been like that. He's always just been a normal human. But
Well,
the fact that he was obviously born, you know, his mum
In a
gave
well,
birth
Titan.
when she was eaten. They think he's a Titan.
well. Have you read the synopsis of it or something?
No, but it's kind of like, why would he be anything other than that, though?
But we don't
Well,
know though.
the reason why I think he's something that, I mean, he's a teenager. He's like, regardless of all that food he's been eating, he's still quite weak, and he took
So
out grown adults in a hit.
I'm
Adrenaline?
just saying, yeah, like the story, it needs to be something else for the story to be interesting. You can't just be a regular
Yeah, it would
infantryman. I
be
mean,
weird.
it'll be so boring. Like we've got way better infantrymen. Like we've got like Levi. Like I don't need another cool guy that doesn't have superpowers anymore. Like just give. He needs to be. He doesn't have to be a Titan, but give him something that makes him special, other than coming out of a
Or like
Titan's
he has
arse or something.
some.
Like something interesting.
It could be even like he's not like the original Titan shifter, but he could carry the gene if that
Or
makes
yeah,
sense.
he carries gene, or he can harness the strength of like a body
Yeah,
of a
that's what I'm
Titan in the
saying.
body of a human. Like there's something
But
that
the
makes
only
him
thing is
different.
that how would that make sense?
Dude, you have guys that could turn into
No,
flipping
but how
giants,
would that
right?
make sense from him?
It's a manga. Anything can make sense. If they write it
I
and you say, okay, I can believe that.
No, but it's
Anything
like
can.
it just doesn't work with like just the whole way he was born.
Bro,
It's just a normal birth, but it's
bro,
just the fact that his mum got eaten when she gave birth.
we're reading a manga about people that live in a giant wall that was made by giant men holding hands. Anything can happen in this story. If it's done properly, it can be
I'm just
believable.
saying, man. It's like I just don't want him to pull something out of his ass with that.
Bro, everyone got the game of time from getting an injection.
Yeah, that's because that's what happened, didn't it? They probably researched
How
Titan genes, and then that's
how
how
then
how,
they
then
injected
where
the
does
dude,
that
shit.
come from?
you're not
They
making any sense.
researched Titan genes, man.
You're not making
Oh
any
no,
sense.
come
There's
on.
science
How
involved in that.
Reese, you're not making any sense. The most high tech device is a fucking gas pumped.
Yeah,
I don't know what you
yeah.
pre. There's no such thing as like a laboratory. How can you make something as precise and as genetically complicated as a Titan serum in this world where technology doesn't exist? Have you ever thought about that?
Look,
It's
yeah, if you're gonna
really
try and bring
it's
that, if
far
you're gonna try and
fetched.
bring that into it, yeah, then why you bring it to shit like Naruto? It's like, oh, how can they have like walkie talkies but no proper electricity?
Completely different
Crap like
stuff.
that, man. It's the
You're
same
you're
type of
you're
premise.
you're going like way beyond now. But we're talking in this story, like it doesn't make it. The Titan serum in itself doesn't make sense. I don't know how you would develop that.
I don't
So if
bloody know, man. Who even
a
knows what the hell the
guy
Titans are? They could be
a guy
aliens.
a guy that was born in a Titans, well, born inside of a Titan or somehow, maybe somehow he harnessed some kind of weird, genetics or whatever. But it's I said it could not have happened. It could happen, but I think he needs to have something interesting about him other than just being a badass with 3D maneuver gear, because that we've seen that already. That's boring now. Needs to be something special about him.
You're saying the fact that oh yeah, we've seen all this, we've seen all that. It's like yeah, but remember that stuff hasn't actually happened yet.
We've seen it in the main
I know,
series.
but the fact is, this is before the main series, which means none of it's happened yet.
That doesn't make any sense though, because we've already read the main series before we read this, so we should be seeing different stuff, not stuff we've already seen. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, but remember, man, this is set
This
80
is it,
years. This is set like what 80 years before the main series.
but it's
So
a
you can't have
different
someone
story.
being a badass yet in the same world 80 years before. They're just like, oh, they just
Why?
regressed 80 years
Why?
later.
Why not?
Because that's stupid.
Oh, I'm gonna take your thing now. Oh, Naruto, the first Hokage, he was more powerful than anybody else in the series, and he was what 100 years ago. So how do you explain that then?
His genes got
Exactly.
diluted.
It doesn't make you see. Well, I'm using the same thing
Oh
that you
my
use, the same
gosh.
excuse you're using right now.
You're
So
contradicted, man.
you don't see Reese. You're not making any sense right now. Stop pulling shit out of your ass and just focus. I'm just saying that this character needs to be interesting. Right now, he's not interesting. You might find him interesting. From the comments I'm reading on his website, no one finds him interesting.
Obviously, I'm not saying he's
So,
interesting. I'm just saying it's like for him to be a Titan, it's like okay, where did that come from?
well, he doesn't have to be a Titan. This he has to have something special about him.
The
I'll
thing
just give
is,
you that one, man.
my thing was that I don't know where this is because let's go back to what I said. I think Chris agrees with me. I said he might not be a Titan shifter. He might
Yeah,
carry some gene in it. You don't
yeah.
know what that because that thing was a blob. So there could have been some sort of DNA mixture when he was still in his mom. Remember, there's all if you're gonna think of it scientifically, there's all that molecular crap and all of that.
You know what? This is a typical story that happens a lot. Like we've seen this multiple times. You know, for instance, Blade, the Marvel character,
Yeah,
he was a baby in his mom womb. His mom got bit by a vampire. He was born half vampire. It happens a lot with a lot of characters inside the mother's womb. The mother something happens to the mom, and she somehow passes on a particular gene to that baby that's diluted, and that baby becomes half of whatever that creature was.
The
You
only
know what I
thing
mean? It
which is
happens.
kind of weird about it is the fact that the mum got eaten. You know what I mean? Not like infected, eaten. So it's like,
Well,
okay.
she's inside of the creature, so somehow we can know there's not just it's not like a box when you go inside of them. There's like liquids, there's all sorts of shit swarming in there, and obviously she was regurgitated, so maybe that has something to do with it as well. It wasn't that she was got eaten in the empty box with nothing around. No, she was in some Titan juice, so maybe that Titan juice did something to her.
Just saying. You know what I mean? It's like there's a difference between being eaten and being infected.
I know that, but I'm saying we don't know the complete biology of Titans yet.
True. That could
and
be the one
remember, there's
thing.
still another one as well. There's a dense one, the muscular one with the
Yeah,
white hair.
he's definitely has a story to play in. He does have a big part to play in the story, but honestly, I don't know what that could be because from what we know, most Titans are stupid, so it's not going to be. Maybe he's like the Monkey Titan or something, or maybe like Rafi said, he has a connection to this main character who I still can't say his name.
Okay, cool.
Curry, yeah, Curry.
Curry.
But yeah. But what the chapter? Charlie, is that Charlie? Charles, what's her
Yeah,
name?
it's Charlie. Yeah,
Charlie,
Charlie.
yeah, yeah. What do you think of that character in general? Like, what's your thoughts on that character?
Unless she like gets stronger, she's of no use. She's
She's
just
like
another love interest.
she feels like generic shonen female sidekick type thing right now. Like I give her a due. I mean, she was heavily involved in like
In
um
development.
in developing, yeah, making it more human, I should say, yeah. So yeah, she did something decent. Um,
Remember, she was meant to be sold off to be married, so
yeah,
she
yeah,
rebelled in it and all that.
yeah. I really want him to kill her brother though. Like he's pretty annoying. I was kind of
Mm.
hoping that he would die this chapter, but I guess it's too soon for that.
One question though, which I don't know, could be a final discussion point. Do you think it would have been more effective if they would have killed her here and now?
No, because it would just left him aimlessly wandering with nothing, with no like true goal. At least now he has a goal, and I don't know actually. Me personally, I wouldn't care. I honestly wouldn't care for the character. Maybe
Yeah.
it's better to kill her off later on when they've got like a more stronger connection. I guess they have a strong connection now, but I don't know. I think it would mean more if they killed her off later on instead of like 4 chapters in. It would be kind of like character was like a bit like a throwaway, like she didn't amount to nothing, so why should they have cared in the first place? So maybe they build up a little bit more, then potentially kill her off or keep her alive. Who knows?
True.
Mm.
But don't forget, man, obviously it's 4 chapters in, but in that timeline, she's been teaching him for however many months and shit.
Yeah, but you have to bear in mind we're readers. We don't know all that extra shit that's going on. We're only 4 chapters in, even though the story's like months in, but we don't
I
know
know,
what's
I'm
been
just
going
saying,
on.
though, you know what I mean? So it's
So
like they have that connection.
For the story, yes, that's what I'm saying. For him, it'll make you mean something for him if they kill her off now. For us, it wouldn't mean anything because we don't know nothing about her. We've only known her for 4 chapters.
We've only seen her like not even 4 chapters. We saw her last time.
Oh yeah, it's only been like 2 chapters.
Yeah, so
yeah,
we
exactly.
saw.
So why would we care if she died? Like,
Exactly,
okay,
because the
whatever.
thing is, it's not for us to care or not. I just say it's like, as a character development point.
For him,
Yeah,
we barely even know him as well.
exactly.
So why would we need character development? So
But as one of the things, man, it's like
it
look at
just
the
seems that
in the main series, bro. We thought Eren was dead after chapter 4.
Aaron wasn't dead
I
though.
know, but we thought he was dead. And then he
But
came back
that
to the
would
Titan. So
yeah, but that's not really gonna work for this though. That the whole point, the only reason why they can do that because they know none of the guys writing the story. He's not gonna know what's gonna happen next week. He knows what's gonna happen because he's writing it. So he knows that Aaron's gonna come back and then prolong his character development. If she dies, she's dead. We're not gonna see her ever again. So doing that wouldn't make sense because we don't know nothing. We don't know much about her other than she obviously has feelings for this guy and then she doesn't want to get married to some other guy, which is standards. That's what I'm saying. This whole thing
Standards,
so far,
sure,
it's a
yeah.
standard. There's nothing special about it. Everything is standard. So we need more progression. We need more development with these characters before we start. Personally, for me, even start caring about these people, I need more development. I need reasons to care for them. If I have no reason, then I really have no motivation to read this series in general. That's the problem.
it's
But
true.
yeah.
So yeah.
So in all, it wasn't a bad chapter. So I guess we should all just give our little takes on it. So I personally think it wasn't a bad chapter, but it was an interesting one. Reese, what's your take on it?
It had its moments, but that was about it. Half the
Raf?
time we end up skimming.
Oh, sorry.
It's good. Yeah, it's half the
Raf?
time we just skim through a little bit.
Cool.
Oh,
Do you
is it me?
wanna?
Yeah,
Yeah, John, man.
yeah. As I said, I'm the same with the obviously the wasted panels. I feel like those could have been used to develop obviously, the plot and the characters more. But as I said, I've obviously enjoyed the Titan worshippers being introduced. The bit at the end which you didn't talk about. The Scouting Legion
Yeah.
was disbanded after 15 years because of that. The first
Titan breaking in.
yeah, Titan breach, and then obviously it took them this long to finally get their thing back because they finally got what was it, results from their research. So yeah, that's what I said. Those little bits there were interesting, but overall it was like if those panels that were wasted were used in the same way that obviously the interesting parts were used, it would have been
Yeah.
a better chapter. It just certain parts were kind of like artwork glorified kind of things going on.
Yeah. He's doing the Kubo. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as I said, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great, like compared to the main series where like a lot of crap happens. But this one just seems like it's um taking us on an emotional ride, if it makes sense, rather than informing us, which is what obviously all of us are wanting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Info.
Exactly. Yeah. That's definitely like the best explanation so far. It's based. I think it's trying to be its own story,
Yeah,
whereas we're reading it to kind of find out what's happening in the main story.
yeah,
So the story trying to tell its own little tale, and then we're just like, okay, what's happening? How does
yeah.
this connect to Aaron's story? Like that's what we. Maybe that's the problem with me. Then I'm keep reading into it, trying to find stuff that connects to the main story. So that's why I'm
Mm.
not really enjoying it as much as I probably should. So yeah, good explanation.
Yeah.
Basically, in short, this is the origin story. We want to see 3D maneuverable gear, original Titans, how
Yeah,
people survived before, and we're not really getting much. So I guess it's because it's early, but the way it's been, as I said, these chapters are dragged a bit too much, man.
yeah. I
So
mean, four chapters in, I kind of would expect I would have seen a bit more. Like I know certain mangas they're quite slow paced and they take their time, but I
mm.
kind of
But it
wish
is a
they.
monthly, so that's like more than enough pages.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's true. Actually,
Mm.
that's true.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, that's the review, guys. Obviously, you guys have your own, take on the chapter as well. Please let us know how you feel about the chapter in the comments below. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up, or if you didn't, leave a thumbs down. But tell us why, and or not. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, stay tuned for more videos, and that's it from us.
Cool. See you next time.
See you next time.